What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Michelle Maxwell. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Raw Podcast. Today, I'm going to talk with you guys a little bit about my dad, Chuck Maxwell. My initial intention was to correlate this episode with Father's Day, but unfortunately, life was lifing, so I wasn't able to do so. But I also didn't want to pass up the opportunity to honor the man who has played one of the most significant roles in my life and me becoming the woman that I am today, my dad. My dad was born July 14th, 1935, so he would have recently celebrated his 89th birthday. He was born in Pasadena, California, to my Eastern European grandmother, Naomi, and my Scottish American grandfather, Chuck Maxwell. So my dad was a junior. Unfortunately, my dad's dad did pass away before he was born. So I do think that was played a huge role in the father that my dad eventually became. And I also think that my dad being born later in life played a huge role. Actually, he said it. He said that, he was grateful to have kids later in life because he was able to enjoy us and live life through our eyes again. So those factors, even though they're not necessarily ideal or what everyone says you should do or how it should be, they were definitely important, crucial factors in the father that my dad became. My dad was definitely one of the most interesting people I've ever met. He lived a very full life and he was a larger than life man. He was 6'5". He was charismatic, charming, funny, intimidating. And if you mess with his girls, he was coming for you, and he was always packing. So yes. He also did some really amazing things in his life and had some really amazing experiences. He interviewed Ernest Hemingway when he was in the Air Force in Spain. So I have a picture of that. That's amazing. He also worked on that White House staff for Lyndon B. Johnson, and he had a #1 Arbitron rated radio show in San Antonio on the AM station, Big Band Saturday night. And those are only a few things that like my dad did. He did so many cool things. But I'm not gonna bore you with the details. That being said, I would have to say the most important thing my dad ever did was be a dad. He raised humans, and I like to think that my sister and I are really great humans. So I think he did a really great job at it, and I'm very grateful for all of his love and dedication and affection and wisdom that he just bestowed upon us. My dad definitely laid a foundation for so many things in our life and how we should be as people and how we should be in our relationships and how we should move through life in this world. One of the things that my dad emphasized was humility and being a big guy and having these small girls. My dad would always say to us, girls, I'm never too good to say I'm sorry. And he really emphasized the importance of apologizing when you're wrong and owning when you're in the wrong. And I think that also created a lot of and built a lot of respect in our relationship, because allowing someone else, admitting you're wrong, allowing someone else to have a voice in a conversation and to acknowledge their perspective or their viewpoint just lends itself to having respect, right, for that other person. And it was very crucial because I find that one of the things that I really love about myself is that, listen, I will fight to tooth and nail if I feel that I'm right. But if I'm wrong, I'll be the first person to be like, sister's wrong now. Let me own my shit. And I do that. And I get that from my father and him setting that example for my sister and I. He also was a great communicator. I know, that's crazy. Not that all men are bad communicators, but I think, as women, we're like, oh, he needs to communicate better. My dad was like an amazing communicator. That's probably who I get it from. I'm not saying I'm an amazing communicator. I'm just saying I do value communication because I can handle anything if you communicate with me. And that was kind of his stance. He's like, just tell me, communicate with me. I can handle anything. But he also, in that aspect of like communicating with us throughout our lives and as we experienced life as a family, there were moments where we always would have these like Maxwell meetings and sit down, and that communication, we talk about as women having a seat at the table. And I would say my dad was the first guy who gave us, or first person who gave my sister and I a seat at the table and allowed us to have a space and a place to be able to communicate how we feel, our thoughts, and our perspective on anything that we were discussing as a family. And that is just so huge to understand and to feel as if what you have to say is valued and heard and you're seen. And he definitely laid that foundation for us. He also was a big proponent of humor. So my dad used to tell us a person's sense of humor is their saving grace. And I believe that. And I can honestly say that a lot of my life, I have been able to get through some of the hard times and difficult times by laughing. And people would say that my sister and I, we actually share this trait. We share a lot of traits, but we make ourselves laugh. And people are always like, Michelle, why are you laughing so hard? I'm like, I don't know. I just think whatever I'm doing or thinking is so funny. And I'm like, if you can't make yourself laugh, then that sucks. I don't know. You have to be able to make yourself laugh. I feel like you have to be able to make yourself laugh in order to make other people laugh. You have to be able to love yourself in order to love other people. It all starts with you. So, yes, sense of humor is something that was very important in our upbringing and very important in being able to deal with life and what life throws at you. I would say the last thing, and I mean, I could go on forever, but I'm just trying to pick some of the things that I really think just made such a huge impact and really helped make my sister and I and guided us not only through this life, but like to be really good people. But the other thing I would say is vanity. And I know some people are like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what some people say about vanity. I think maybe some people think it's not a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Like not like in excess, but it is good to be vain. I think some people need to be more vain, but I think it's important to be vain and to be mindful of your presence, what you bring to a room, what you bring to a space, how you carry yourself, how you move in spaces, your appearance. Those are all things that, I think as women and having a very beautiful mother, I had a very beautiful mother um, and also a vain mother, but I'm not necessarily sure that that's something that we take from the men in our lives, but my dad was definitely, he emphasized vanity and how important it is to have some vanity in order to really honor your presence as a person and honor what you bring to the table. I don't think vanity is necessarily a negative thing. And he taught us how to move in spaces, how to work rooms, how to carry ourselves, and definitely emphasize that because we did have some financial hard times and hardships in our life, or even just adversities that no matter what, you could show up and be the best version of yourself when you possess that self-confidence. So those are just some of the things that I would definitely say that my dad laid as a foundation for raising humans. And I think they were very crucial. And to this day, I know my sister and I tap into the tools and resources and the wisdom that my dad dropped on us to get through life and to navigate this life. And I think as parents, that's all you can do is drop wisdom and give your kids resources and tools because one day they won't be here. And in order for them to successfully maneuver through this life, it's really, really useful to have those morals and values and qualities like really strongly implemented and rooted in who you are as a person. And my dad did a very beautiful job at that. My dad also pretty much my entire career I owe to my father. He was the best manager. I like to say that my dad was my coach and my mom was my cheerleader. And he managed everything. He built a rapport with all my agents. I mean, everyone loved him. Sometimes in the industry, they don't really like parents around because they feel like it distracts the model or whatever, or they're overbearing. But my dad, everyone loved him. All my agents loved him. He built some really strong relationships with a lot of my agents. And he just pretty much allowed me to go after my dreams and supported me in every possible way that he could to do so. And he doted on me. He waited on me hand and foot. He checked me and reprimanded me when I needed to be checked. He kept me humble. And he also instilled in me that, in the fashion industry, the modeling industry, obviously it's very physical. It's based off of how you look. And he definitely emphasized what made me unique as a person and what made me different from everybody else in a positive way. So it's super crucial because so much of it is emphasized on just how you look physically, but he definitely always reminded me that I'm Michelle Maxwell. I'm capable of anything. The world is my oyster. No one could stop me. The only person stopping me is myself. He taught me what it meant to have a strong work ethic and discipline and to not give up and, be a fighter and go after what I wanted in life. And because of that, I've been able to navigate my career. I'm able to still be in the fashion industry, which is difficult, especially from I would say, generation I came from, where pretty much at 20 something years old, you were out if you weren't a supermodel. So, and he really, really believed I was going to be a supermodel. And he really, really believed I was going to be a star. So it's his belief in me that allowed me to see a lot of my self-worth and a lot of what I have to offer this world and bring to the table. So I'm super grateful for that. And I think that the men and fathers in our life, they are such an important part of us being empowered women and being strong women. And with that male influence will look different for everybody. Some people it's a father, it's a grandfather, it's an uncle, it's a brother, it's a stepdad. But the fact that these men do pour into us as women and show us affection and support and value and see us, it's just so crucial and significant in who we are and become. So that's just a little bit about my dad and the impact and influence that he's had in my life. And I could go on forever, but I'm not going to bore you guys. And I'm sure in other episodes, I'm going to pop on here and I'm going to drop some of his wisdom. My sister and I talk about doing it's called Checkism's book, about all the knowledge and wisdom that he bestowed upon us. Every time we talk to people about my dad, they're just in awe of the love and admiration and respect we have for our dad. And that's just indicative of the influence that he had in our lives. So, yes, super proud to be Chuck Maxwell's daughter. And I'm super grateful that Chuck Maxwell is my dad. So let's honor our dads and not forget that they do also play a huge role in us being powerful women. That being said, next week I'm going to talk about, I'm going to pivot a little bit and I'm going to talk about, start a little series on like health and fitness. This is something that I'm very passionate about for y'all, for those of you, it's wrong. For those of you who don't know, I am a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. And it's something I'm very passionate about. Living a healthy lifestyle is something I just am very passionate about. And I will say my mom and dad also played a significant role in why I'm so passionate about that. And so, yeah, I'm gonna drop some of my perspectives and knowledge of health, fitness, and food and all those things on you guys. And I can't wait. So you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you next week.
Competition, and I'm a little bit disappointed, but it doesn't last very long.
I did cry, but that's just because when people tell you one thing and you expect it so much, and you don't get it, it's just emotional.
I've always told my baby that you win some, you lose some, but the point is you keep going at it, and one of these days this is going to be a star. So keep the film, will you?